Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. I have reactivated, for now, the Architectural Renaissance Edict that gives me an extra megastructure build capacity and speeds up megastructure build speed. Because I had a sufficient surplus of Unity, I could take the hit for now. This will enable me to get done with this Science Nexus in about a little over a year. I still have quite a while before the Strategic Coordination Center comes out, but that will speed up my research a little bit, getting that complete, and allowed me to go ahead and start upgrading this other one. I have also found a species, one member of the Furbanites, or two members of the Furbanites that were not my current Furbinite species, so I am shifting them over. Those are the only species I need to modify. That will be done tomorrow. And I have reconnected most of my trade routes that I can, even though they're traveling through areas like this. They have sufficient trade route protection now because of the presence of nearby gateways, and gateways are at my places that have trade route protection, that yeah, I should have no issue of piracy from the little bit that these send out. So I've reactivated most of my trade routes. The only one I cannot connect is Aphelion, because it has no route to reach. But activating Architectural Renaissance means this gateway will be up and running in 10 months. And then I can reconnect that trade route. More than likely, they are going to hang on to these war preparations until the peace treaty ends in about 3 years and 7 months. The Adnorn Kingdom has embraced the Alien Rights Trust and become more xenophilic.
New species variant available.
We have modified that lone Furbinite, and they keep trying to come into the Talon system with stealth science vessels that get booted out. The Praku Interstellar Nation is in a migration treaty with the Kessom Confederacy.
Construction complete.
Fortress Legionnaires paid dividends, minerals, food, and energy credits. And the Talon Starbase has completed switching over to a torpedo battery. Pretty much all of my shipyards have shifted over to having a couple of torpedo batteries, because that enables them to get ion cannons as part of their defense platforms. Now, I had been going back through most of my star bases, actually all of my star bases, and adding defense platforms to them. Even the anchorages are up to full on current defense platforms. There's just a few that are still in the process of building. One of them, I believe, is Raccaron. Yeah, it has 2 more defense platforms to build. And my newest one, Mason. It is in the process of building a defense platform and shifting this shipyard over to an anchorage. I do know I am over my capacity in star bases, and I'm still over my naval capacity, increasing the maintenance cost by 16%. But as soon as I complete my current society research, which will be in a little over 2 years, I can increase my starbase capacity with another research to get back up. Oclaran Interplanetary Confederacy is in a migration treaty with the Kessom Confederacy. Now, I do have a plan for when this attack happens. I'm going to destroy the Democratic Glaren Union pretty quickly. The Democratic Glaren Union is the overlord of the nation of Selnock Prime. So I will be able to take that away from them. That's a little bit more, because the Democratic Glaren Union only controls 4 systems. It'll be pretty easy to knock them out. But yeah, my main push is going to be over this direction when they attack me. I want to obliterate the Democratic Glaring Union. I might see if I can navigate over here and take away Selnock Prime anyway. And the Habenti Unified Worlds, since they have joined the Federation. I will probably conquer them as well. Soran Combined Clans is guaranteeing the independence of the Auckland Interplanetary Confederacy. What I may end up doing in the next year, though, is trying to foment resistance between the Glossworhenians and someone else. If we look at opinion map mode... Oh, everybody hates me. The Hisbin Protectors, the new Adnoran Kingdom, because they have no modifiers for me having been genocidal, are the only two that don't absolutely dislike me, I believe. The Freeholders have a 0 opinion of us. Interesting. Oh, and the Dasanu Consonants has no opinion of us. But if we select the Glossworhenians... Yeah, the Veteresian Leagues do not like them. So if I can somehow create a schism here and have them direct a war that way instead, I might be able to keep them from attacking me. Also, the Soran and the Star Realms of Shar do not like them, so if I could get them fighting. But considering that most of the allies of the Soran and the Star Realms of Shar do like them, yeah, because they have actually been improving relations. Because most of them do like them, that's going to be a little bit difficult. Now, the Veteresians, however... Yeah, that would pull the Star Realms of Shar and the Soran into war if they attack the Veteresians. Which is what I would like to do, is get the Glossworhenians against the Veteresians to where they want to try and take them out. Now, the Veteresians are overlords. They actually have the Adnorm Imperium and the Holy Sildorian League. Rodoman is a continental world now. Navalis has become continental. And Adavarish has become continental. The Auckland Interplanetary Confederacy has joined the Pan-Galactic Fleet, so they no longer need a guarantee of independence. They are a member of a federation because they were subjugated by the Kesem Confederacy.
Blocker cleared.
We have established sleeper cells in the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. Now, we have them at 100. The one at the Interstellar Picarian Coalition, I think, was also going to the Fel Null. Or was it the Citizens Alliance of Orkenfung? Nah, the one in the Citizens Alliance of Orkenfung was swapping between it and the Glossworhenians. So this one needs to return back to the Fel Null. It will take 3 years before these sleeper cells have failed. But before we do that, let's do a quick check. Yeah, we do not have an asset in either place. But we will move over to the Fel Null and get an asset here first. Now, while we have completed that, let's go ahead and check the Soran. Yeah, we're still building up here before we return to the United Nations of Earth. Holy Sildorian League has ended their association status with the Pan-Galactic Pact. Auckland Interplanetary Confederacy is in a migration treaty with the Star Realm of Shar. Auckland Interplanetary Confederacy broke their migration with the Kesem Confederacy. Star Realm of Shar is in a non-aggression pact with the Great Huron Hierarchy. And the Verzak Galactic Technocracy is in a migration treaty with the nation of Selnock Prime. Our long project on Kel-Nudar has frustratingly ended in partial success. As the final valleys were undergoing terramorphing, a malfunction occurred in the biomass realigner, leading to the creation of large swaths of terraforming residue. While not dangerous to our colonists, it means that our planet is a bit more cramped for the time being. That's the second time we've gotten that one. So we now have some blockers on here we're going to have to remove. 6 months apiece to get rid of those blockers. We are currently over on our districts, which means that this is going to be canceled anyway. So we'll go ahead and get into the process of removing these. But Kel-Nudar and Round Nut have been shifted into continental worlds. I'm debating whether or not I want to rename Round Nut. Acropolis sounds like a good world name. And we will also need to rename the station to Acropolis Station. Although that name would probably be better for a world that is really heavy agriculture.
Blocker cleared.
Yeah, it went ahead and canceled that project since we were over on our districts anyway.
Field engineers have cleared a blocker. Blocker cleared.
Aphelion Starbase has shifted over to a torpedo battery. Now I can clear out some of these old platforms. They're all basically kinetic batteries. So that I can build an ion cannon here, which will be its last construction. And it will be fully defended.
Science Division report success.
Bax Holdings has dropped to a protectorate underneath us. So if we go to our contacts, we should be getting more influence per month for protectorates now, or subjects. It will probably update next month because we now have 3. Now we're still getting the same small trickle of basic resources from them. Miniaturized pre-igniters. Advances in miniaturization allow for more rapid loading and discharging of rocket-propelled payloads. We do have a lot of defense platforms, and this is one of the cheaper ones, so I believe we are going to get synchronized fire patterns. We need to start getting prepared for when the crises will emerge in about 50 years, 60 or so years. It's going to take over 5 years to get this. That's with Ernesto in here. This is a Voidcraft. I don't believe we still have a Voidcraft specialist. So we will just get one of our 15 to everything. Yeah, let's get Mercedes. She's in the emissary. So now we have to locate the emissary. That knocked 2 months off of it.
We have claimed a new world.
We finally established St. Casper. It's still removing a dangerous wildlife. We'll worry about queuing something up in October and let it get more progress on this. But this will definitely end up being a mining world for us. That is a lot of mining districts. 13 mining districts. With a mastery of nature, this planet is size 16, so with the mastery of nature, I would be able to get 19. That would be all 13 of the mining districts, plus 5 city districts, and 1 spare district to stick somewhere else. Now we do need to begin the terraforming of this world. We got an underappreciated member of the Orcumfung citizenry. A veteran, not the one I was shooting for. I would have preferred even a clerk. Military manipulation does not give me what I need. We've got 5 more years before the Orcumfung requires new sleeper cells. And 7 years before they do in the Glosterhenians. So let's go ahead and acquire another asset. Sovereign Jazzajan Assembly has ended their rivalry with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. We have finally gotten the gateway in the Aphelion system completed. So this system is now reconnected with our network. We can go to trade and set that up as a direct to Deneb route. I guess I have to wait a day or so for the thing to update. Let's, there we go. Now let's try it. There we go. Yeah, had to wait 1 day for it to update. And I can send the Cerberus reinforcements to the Cerberus fleet, which is currently in Poligar. And I believe it is this fleet. Yes. Only has 2 Titans right now. This one is just about done upgrading.
Field engineers have cleared a blocker.
We've finally gotten our
Ships refitted.
strategic resources back positive, but just barely, on the moats and the gases. The Griffin reinforcements have been fully refitted. So now Strike Force Griffin is at full strength. I used my emergency measure to put Repeal Guardian Angels Act in, because apparently the other resolutions for sanctions have been recalled. Yeah, it looks like they can't be proposed right now, because they were like the top 3. And now Building a Better Tomorrow is the only one that is still up there. But I decided to push in, even though this one will likely fail, the repeal of the Guardian Angels Act to see how much support I get for it. So there's about 2 million votes, it appears, currently in the Senate. Interstellar Picarian Coalition ended their rivalry with the Fel Null Cooperative. Oclaran Interplanetary Confederacy is in a migration treaty with the Kesem Confederacy. Rishethian State is in a migration treaty with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition, and so are the Glosswarhenian Confederacy.
Field engineers have cleared a blocker. Construction complete.
Molyneux Station has finished shifting its building over to an alloy processing facility. Today we celebrate the completion of yet another Science Nexus. If our previous accomplishment hadn't already, this will surely earn us a place on the forefront of scientific progress in the universe. Our technological advancements will allow us to shape the future to our liking. Now, we're still about a year away from getting the Strategic Coordination Center. So I don't need to keep running right now this edict for architectural renaissance. I can bank about a year's worth of extra unity. by shutting it off. Now, if we look at the patch notes for the current 3.9.1 version of the game, you will see under edicts now have an activation cost equal to their monthly cost. Added an activation cost to all edicts because y'all can't be trusted with this power otherwise. So something I had mentioned previously about not having to spend the Unity, only needing it banked to be able to activate an edict, it will no longer be valid in the current updated version of the game. Which means if I were to deactivate this for 12 months until I need it, I would bank the Unity I would normally spend on it. But when I go to reactivate it, it is going to take that activation cost out. Now, this game is currently set in 3.7.4. So I will not have that activation cost. There's no reason for me not to disable it and re-enable it. I won't need to spend it, but I will still need to have that amount banked. But I'm going to go ahead and deactivate this so that I'm not spending so much Unity while I don't need it, because there's only one thing I am upgrading. Now, while that would have given me more progress, instead of getting 360 days of progress, I would have gotten 720 days of progress toward completing this. I would much rather have the Unity bank and then speed it up when I need to create the Strategic Coordination Center. We have a new proposal. Repeal the Tianki Conservation Act. Apparently it had been pulled, has been reproposed by the Tenderzun. We will support that. And this fleet by the Glossrahenians is just sitting here trying to recloak over and over in my system. They aren't getting booted out because of the peace treaty. We are forced to have open borders with them. And I suspect what they are trying to do is do espionage upon us and boost the relations. Basically, assisting covert operations. So they need to cloak for that, and they're just going to sit there, and about every month when they, or few months when they can recloak, they're going to keep trying it because they're stupid. Fel Null have ended their rivalry with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. We have yet another proposal. Relocate the Galactic Market. I'm opposed to that. Praku Holy State has proposed this for like a fourth time after it has been yanked. Citizens Confederation of Gavazul is in a commercial pact with the Citizens Alliance of Orcam-Fung. We have an Orcam-Fung rebel from the Citizens Alliance of Orcam-Fung, an arms smuggler. Again, I don't think that's what I wanted. Yeah, I still don't have one that has either... that has subterfuge is what I really need. So, I believe we will acquire yet another asset.
Ships refitted.
Cerberus reinforcements have been refitted. We need 15 more Lycans for this fleet. I believe that was our final reinforcement fleet, and none of the remaining fleets have cruisers. And we're currently building a Titan here. We can go ahead and get started on more Lycans.
Blocker cleared. Field engineers have cleared a blocker.
Sovereignty of Tuxcali has ended their rivalry with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. Darforge was given association status by the Pan-Galactic Pact.
Field engineers have cleared a blocker.
Fel Null has declared Star Realms of Shar their rival. We had an encounter in Tulok. And it looks like it almost went away immediately. Yeah, the Penurian Union. Someone just got FTL drive, one of the primitive civilizations. Let's see, it was Tunok? I see the Tunari vortex. It popped up so quickly and disappeared. Alright, the Penurian Union. I guess the easiest way to find them now is to go to contacts and look for the Penurian Union. So it was the Soran combined clans that raised them up, I think. Tolik, not Tunok. That was the reason I was finding the wrong place. But yes, they just rose from primitive civilization. The alien civilization on Tolik L Prime has finished construction of its first interplanetary vessel in orbit of their homeworld. For better or worse, these aliens are now ready to join the galactic community and must be counted among the galaxy's current spacefaring races. They appear to have successfully translated our language and have opened diplomatic channels with us. We are the Penurian Union, and we speak as one. The hive mind has taken note of your presence. We will observe for now. Our future actions will depend upon whether you are a threat, an opportunity for expansion, or an unforeseen variable. I am definitely a threat to you. Your kind will not threaten our Empress. Now it looks like there is enough support to pass the repeal of the Guardian Angels Act. Briannan Stellar Nation was given association status with the Pan-Galactic Pact. Star Realm of Shar have built a gateway. Pan-Kisha Province is in a migration treaty with the new Ubaric regime. For a year.
Blocker cleared.
Admiral Yanwan has drawn up plans for a major fleet exercise that will have a substantial portion of our Navy. The location she has chosen for these maneuvers is the Talon system, which is close to the border of the Kesem Confederacy. The Kesem may see this as a major provocation, but if we cancel our exercise, our military will consider it a sign of weakness. After all, Talon lies within our space. The Kesem Confederacy has no right to tell us what we can or cannot do in our own backyard. Actually, that's close to Glosswerhenian space. It's only close to Kesem Confederacy because they also have a gateway. Carry out the maneuvers as planned. Admiral with a fleet power of at least 4,000. Oh, Zarklin's pilgrims can do that by themselves. Let's send him to conduct some fleet maneuvers. Or send her, Deborah Mason. Doesn't say how long it's going to take there. Let me look down here. Six months. Tindrazun has laid a claim to the Caspadine system. Really? You're not reaching it. Star Realm of Shar built another gateway. Carecia is now a continental world, so we can colonize it finally. Actually, we'll just leave the name Carecia. And Hinckley's Hope is now a continental world, which should boost my output on this world with my... when I start getting my slaves over here. It'll definitely boost the human output for culture workers and the like now that it is no longer a tundra. I'm getting close to cap on a few things. The gateway that we planned in the Vuzabaru system now has its site in place, so I can begin the upgrade of it and do away with this constructor. Or actually, I think I will send the constructor back to Mason to put a gateway here. Matter of fact, I can go ahead and set aside the influence for it. Star Realm of Shar built an interstellar assembly. Rishethian State built a gateway. Oh! The Fortress Legionnaires are available again. We wish to hire them. We will set their home base as Caspadine and send them home. Caspadine does have the crew quarters, so. Allied Multics are in a migration treaty with the Star Realm of Shar. Hierarchy of Moffith is in a migration treaty with the Star Realms of Shar. Rishethian State built a gateway, and the Citizens Alliance of Orcum Fung is no longer a valid rival for our empire. So next month, I think we will change our rivalry to the Fel Null Cooperative. United Nations of Earth is in a research agreement with the Star Realms of Shar. And we have just declared the Fel Null Cooperative our rivals. In 1 month, I have to check a couple of planets that are growing populations and change them.
Blocker cleared.
Our pledge of loyalty with United Latrepian Domains is timed out. We will not be able to renew that, I do not think, because of their attitude. Well, they are loyal to us. Let's see. Yes, they will renew a pledge of loyalty for us. Well, we're getting up there in alloys. Are they interested? They are not interested in alloys or consumer goods. So it's going to have to be one of these. We're kind of low on most of our resources, but we're not using a lot of dark matter, so I think I will use the dark matter. I'll give them 225. Actually, we could get a favorable trade deal bonus. Yeah, I'll give them 600. Now that it is March, I have to check a few planets. For Dara, one of my Thrall worlds, has been focusing on growing Philodolans. They grow extremely fast because they have fertile, and I don't need them spammed quite as much, so I'm about to move both of them off of this world. So I need to resettle them. I need one on Jackson Station and a few on Flaxington, I believe. Actually, I think I'll just move both to Flaxington from Verdera. Yeah, Proclos has been growing the Philodolans as well, and I don't mind that. I can shift one of them off. This one will go to Jackson Station. There we go. Now it is open to do any species. Unfortunately, it may select Furbanite. I may need to lock it. But I did notice on the latest patch notes of the current version, they have made it where the vat-grown trait removes the ability for them to grow naturally. So in the later versions, when I do this with my soldiers, they will no longer be an option under growing. At least I will have to assemble them if I want more, because they have such a growth speed penalty. And the other one I needed to check was Varba. It has just built its last human. I'm going to switch to any species just to remove the lock, because this population is now full, and in 1 more month this will be replaced with a luxury residence. So I would be able to shift this habitation district over to a research district and get a few more researcher slots on here.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
The Trepians agreed to the Pledge of Loyalty. Strategic Coordination Center, a facility synchronizing the National Starbase Network, augmenting defensive and offensive capabilities. We're going for the Doctrine Fleet Liaisons because I do need more naval capacity. Now, this Galactic Stock Exchange gives merchant jobs. That is one of the changes they made in the current version, is to cut down on the amount of leaders. They've shifted a lot of things that gave merchant jobs to give traders, which are specialists. And they've rebalanced traders and clerks. Clerks are a little bit more useful. They're still on the lowest of priorities, but the clerk job has gotten a little bit more valuable. It gives more amenities than trade value now. And the trader job basically gives more trade value than amenities as a specialist. I'm still on the fence about it because there are so much better uses for specialists, especially since specialists usually, depending on your living standards, have a higher consumer good requirement. Clerks, all they required before was food, and still do. And having something equivalent to a clerk as a specialist now, I'm not sure if it's worth the consumer goods. But we will get Doctrine Fleet Liaisons right now. And that will take a little over 2 years to give us a little bit more naval capacity.
Blocker cleared.
Our terraforming specialists have now cleared the final terraforming residue on Kel Nudar. While the cleanup was painful and quite sticky, it was not all for naught. Analysis of the cause of this issue and the fallout has led to furthering the understanding of tellurgy, has led to furthering our understanding of terralurgy. Now that gave us quite a chunk of society research and knocked about, well, it's going to be about 4 months that it ends up knocking, because when we run out of the stored research, it's going to jump back up a little bit. So it's in effect, we're only going to get, instead of 26, which is what it was, this is just about doubled it, or the rate at which we're increasing. So we're only going to knock off about 4 months. It'll be 21 or 22 when we run out of stored research. Actually, that's not quite true, because we will also have knocked off the 4 months that we had been running. So it'll be about, it's going to take about 4 months, and at that time it's still going to be 17 when those 4 months have completed, is what it's going to turn out to do. Gateway site is ready in the Hraztan system. Yeah, the one I had parked over Ganlariv, I decided to have it build a gateway instead. And I think we are actually going to start on an on a hyper relay network here. So we'll put a hyper relay right beside it. And after we complete that, we will head to Stellaris. And then we will do Lindula. Actually, we could skip Delcor. We can go over here to Kintharum, because we are going to have to get this one to get to Siplum. And we're also going to have to get Kogan. And then we can go back up here for that one. So yeah, we'll go to Stellaris next. And I had forgotten. I need to refire that Architectural Renaissance. Because this constructor has been parked where I wanted the Strategic Coordination Center for some time. it right over this system. Now that's going to take 1,200 days is what it says, but we do have a 100% build speed, so it's going to be about 75% of that. So it'll take about 900 days, about 2.5 years, almost 3.
Special project complete.
What special project is that? Oh, my fleet maneuvers. So I can have Zarklin's Pilgrims return home. And we should get a pop-up about that in probably a handful of days. Penurian Unity has closed their borders to us. Now we are about 4 or so months away from integrating the new Ubaric regime, so we need to get started on influencing our next subject, and the next one will be the Great Human Empire, for 3 primary reasons. The first reason is their name. The sheer arrogance of a vassal spun off from my empire calling themselves the Great Human Empire is something I have tolerated for far too long. The second reason is they have not managed the planets that they control very well. They've just finally gotten the stability on this one up, but if we look at most of these, they have very low stability and very high crime and a tremendous amount of unemployment. They have not managed an empire well, and any empire that has the audacity to call itself great should be able to at least manage an empire. And of course, the third reason is they control the Manticore Stormlords, who are currently being rented, last I checked, by the new Ubaric regime. When we finish the integration of the new Ubaric regime, we will inherit this rented fleet, and I will be able to, of course, extend their contract. And since we are going to be inheriting this, the next one I want to absorb is the one that controls this mercenary company. So we are going to negotiate this agreement again to allow us to integrate. 325, just like that. So we are going to have to adjust. Yeah, see, they're giving us very little resources. If we adjust this all the way down to where we are giving them a handful of resources, that knocked some off of it. If we give them some alloys and consumer goods, that knocked a little bit more. And give them still 0 strategic resources, that knocks off quite a bit more. Now, if we adjust the research slider, it's going to increase the price no matter what. But we will also say we will join all of their wars. That knocks it down to 145. And gives them a huge boost in loyalty per month, even though it does a slight dip in current loyalty. And that will enable us, when they accept that deal, to start integration of them next, once we have completed the new Ubaric regime in 4 months. We acquired another Orkamfung professional. This time we got an economist. And I believe that one may do. Yes, that one has subterfuge at least. So we'll stay here long enough to build up our infiltration level before relocating elsewhere. Now I should check how much longer the peace treaty is going to last. About 7 more months. Almost 8. Yeah, about 8, let's just say 8 months. And then it seems like we will be back at war. Yep, they'll strike against us by 2441 October or sooner. That was 6 years ago. Yeah, that intel is out of date.
منكدير سابليسور.
Great Human Empire agreed. United Merivanum Imperium is in a migration treaty with the Archives. Unexpected mineral seams. Geological surveys on St. Casper have revealed that the planet is richer in minerals than we thought. After calibrating our sensors to penetrate deeper into the ground, we have discovered several promising mining sites. Should we direct additional resources to probing the efforts, we might uncover deeper veins of useful ore. So that's going to add 2 more mining districts to this world. We're already at the limit of districts we're going to be able to get. However, I'm familiar with this event, and pursuing it gives an overall boost to mineral output for the planet. So we are going to grant funding for them to probe deeper. The Archives completed a gateway in the Stellaris system. So when we absorb the Archives, we will not need to build a gateway there. Of course, that gateway is not really that necessary, but so be it. I'm curious, are you building a gateway site yet? No. Do you have a gateway site here? No. Soran combined clans built another gateway.
Construction complete.
Bid-Taraki Station has finished its stratospheric ionization elements. Terraforming on Puntrazed Prime has finished faster than initially estimated, which has left our terraforming specialist with time to experiment, and the results are impressive. The planet's natural traits have been enhanced to be both aesthetically pleasing and utilitarian. So either 10 amenities or happiness and immigration pull is our options here. Gas extraction wells. A very large planet. Somewhat unfortunate that it's not richer in resources or does not have the gas extraction, though I may give up 1 gas extraction well because this would be a great ecumenopolis. Let's do the happiness and immigration poll, the natural beauty. Does it have to look so artificial? Faunus. So that is the first of our barren worlds candidates that were shifted over. We should have another shortly. Let's see, both of those are under 2 years. Where was the other one I started around the same time? That one is over 2 years. We only have 7 planets still terraforming. Yeah, Mira is the other one that is closest. Mira and Plessis. Adnorm Imperium is in a migration treaty with the Fel Null Cooperative. The Bastion Devils have given us a chunk of energy credits for their dividends. A human is on the slave market, not one of mine. It's not a cyborg, though. Let's see. I do have worlds that have space for bureaucrats or researchers. Yeah, Fitzroy's world has space for a researcher. And next month, when the month rolls over, I can spend one day, basically, doing the project to convert him to one of my humans. Gained administrative control of Polina. So we now have the Vuzabaru. Let's see. How long do we have for the Manticore Stormlords? 2 years. Well, 2 years and a little over a month. So we could actually wait until January 1st, 2450 to renew the contract. Because that would be 2 months. No, that would be 60 days. So yeah, let's go ahead and extend the contract with the Manticore Stormlords so that we don't lose control of them. We wish to manage our rented fleet. We wish to extend our contract. Ooh, that's quite a chunk of change. We have integrated the new Ubaric regime, so we can begin our integration of the Great Human Empire. This will take almost 9 years. Now I can wait a few months to deal with the planets we've got here, but I do want to do a quick look over them. We have another Melpomenia I need to rename. Nova Constantinople. Sure. Oh, that one was Nova Constantinople. Never mind. We need to rename this one again. Lockney. That works. So we have a Nova Constantinople over here. This is actually a generator station. They actually got that one right. Let's see, this one should be a research station. Yep, they got that one right. Ubaria. Is listed as a forge world. This is eventually going to become an ecumenopolis. Let us change it to a factory world. So we have Ubaria, Polina, Lockney, and Constantinople. Do we already have a Polina? I think we do. This will be another reactor district. And it is designated as the Empire Capital. So we will switch this to a reactor station. Generator station. I do need to check the undesirables. Just robots. Who all can breed here? Uthabulans, Kithin, Latrepians, and Hifnar. All of these need their rights modified. Only undesirables here are robots. And only robots here. Now we do have a robot colony ship that I'm going to disband. Every time I have attempted to upgrade the fleets, transport fleets for assault armies, they have just simply vanished. Probably because these assault armies... Yeah, they're assault armies of species that aren't allowed to be assault armies in my empire. So we're just going to go ahead and disband this entire fleet. We will disband the Vagabond. And we will have the Sagacious assist research on Lockney, I believe it was. Yes. Corvettes and destroyers, 1 cruiser, but primarily corvettes and destroyers. Let's just combine these 2 fleets. I'll keep the name for now. We are going to send them to Vuzabaru. We can replace this trade hub with another anchorage and probably shift all of these to anchorages. Although we are also over on starbase capacity, we may end up dismantling this starbase. I don't know. It currently has no defense platforms. I'll let it advance and see if we're over yet again. If so, I will probably end up dismantling that one for now. When I get more naval capacity, I could probably dismantle this one and relocate it there. Or I could do that anyway if I do gain an extra starbase over capacity. I could just shift that one to here. And I may abandon building this gateway since I will do away with the starbase. Though I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have a gateway over here in Firmathrios. Let's cancel the order to build this gateway. Get rid of this constructor. Relocate both of these fleets to Vuzabaru. And we will probably end up downgrading Massam. Now, where is Strike Force Sphinx? Over here in the Talon system. Why was their home base Talon? Interesting. Well, we have some additional reinforcements here when the war starts, at least. We'll have a small force here in Vuzabaru. Now, are there any other science ships I need to deal with? Oh, they do have a constructor here. I will dismantle that. I do not see any other science ships out and about. The only one they had was the one assisting research, apparently. Yes, I know. I've got a bunch of planets that have poor stability. That does remind me, though. Ubaria is going to become the sector capital. Yeah, we did go up an additional starbase in size. I don't think we need another shipyard this close. So I think we will switch this one over to be an anchorage. But in the meantime, to cut down on my expenses, it is going to boost my expenses for ships, but it will reduce my expenses for starbases. And I believe starbases are the bigger one. Let's see. Starbases are at about 1165 energy credits, where fleet ships are about 6,000. Starbases are up 50%. Ships are only up 25. If we drop the starbase, it will drop a quarter of the increase. So that would go from about 1165. That would drop about maybe 200 or 300. Because let's say if we're at 50% to get to 1200, we're probably around 800 in cost. So yeah, that would drop about 200. And if we're currently over 27% on ships and we're close to 6,000, we were probably around 4,000. Well, between 4,500 and 4,800. 4,800, let's say. We were around 4,800. So if it were to go up, say, 10%, it would not be worth it. We'll see. We'll do the experiment. We'll go ahead and downgrade Massam Station. And I need to connect this one to my trade route. We will have it go straight to Deneb. Yeah, this went up 2%. And that dropped 25. So I believe that's going to end up reducing our price more significantly. Probing the underground of St. Casper is a tedious process. Our scanners do not react well to the ground composition, and shifts in the geological layers mean that we have to recalibrate them every time. Still, we have discovered more exploitable veins of high-quality ore. Their depths make the logistics of the mining operation more complex than usual, but it will take more than that to stop us. There is no assurance that additional probing operations will lead us to more mineral veins. So that would be 15% and 4 more districts. I think we are going to spend more energy credits. There has to be more. The Pledge of Loyalty with the Osiris colonies is timed out. They do have an interest in things like consumer goods. So let us renew the Pledge of Loyalty with them for 30 years. Give them 10,000 consumer goods. Are they interested in alloys? Oh yes. And we'll give them 22,000 alloys. They agreed. Pops are declining on Ubaria due to excessive overcrowding. I don't mind if the pops decline. I don't want them. Alright, so we have Ubaria, Lockney. We have a criminal underworld there. Now, do I already have a Polina? No, I have a palace. Okay. Now, I do need to reorganize my worlds a little bit. Let's see. Since this is the head of the sector, I need them above the ones in Massam, which would be Mullineaux in them. There's Mullineaux. We'll shift it up and then back down. Put Obaria... Actually, no, it's Kel Nudar we should have moved. Yeah, like that. So we will put Obaria under that. And then all 3 of these others appear to be stations. So Polina, Lockney, and Nova Constantinople. And then right between Nova Constantinople and Mullineaux is where we will put the ones for Jeltham when we get it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then Pankisha province area, as well as the final Great Human Empire. Because this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, this has broken out into a different sector. Although we don't currently have any worlds there, there's really no reason to worry about it. I have several of my mercenary companies in motion now. They are headed to the front, since it is probably only a matter of months before they declare war on us. So I've decided to start moving most of my mercenary companies to gateways or to regions on the front line. Because it's going to take a while for them to travel. And I'm not sure where the initial attack is going to come from, but I have been looking at where their fleets are. There's about 1 million fleet power here for the Fel Null in Montfino, but it has a gateway, so it can go anywhere. There's another 1 million fleet power here for the Glosswerhenians in Lyrae, and it is 1 hyperlane away from a gateway. And then there's about 400,000 fleet capacity for the Habenti Unified Worlds here in Dhaka, which has a gateway. Now, if I add up all of my fleets, I have 2.5 million. So I could meet them if they all mass together. I could meet them somewhere on the battlefield and overpower them with all of the fleets that I have. but I would have to know where they are and be able to get all of my fleets there. So the big problem with the defensive war when you have such a large empire and the gateways is knowing where they are going to strike. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be an attack here, because they're going to want to retake Talon and Raprix, but they will also be dividing their forces to retake some other areas that I have taken. And of course, they're going to want to be fighting for this area, because I would really like to push and reclaim this area. Now, yes, for now, it will still give it to the back to the Latrepians, but I do not want them to have a foothold over here. But in about 2 months, toward the end of February, the peace treaty will be ended, and they still say that they are preparing for war, so they may end up that shouldn't have excessive overcrowding anymore. That icon has not gone away. I moved a lot of the population off of this world to other worlds. Matter of fact, I think, yeah, it doesn't say I fixed what is declining. The Ultra Alvathari is the one I'd like to decline. So yeah, let's see if I can tell it to do that. Our trade treaty with the Brienne and Stellar Nation is timed out, their pledge of loyalty, and our pledge of loyalty with the Citadel Research Institute. And right now, I'm not sure we need those back, but I will go ahead and see if I can negotiate for them. Energy credits I'm kind of low on. Are they interested in food? Yes. And what about alloys? And let's give them a few. Nope, they're not interested in consumer goods. So those two will do. That'll give us a little bit of trade value. Our trade with the archives for a pledge of loyalty has also expired. So we had 3 pledges of loyalty pretty much expire at once. I probably should have staggered these out a little more. Alloys is what I have the abundance of, but it's also what I'm going to really need when a war pops up. There we go. And that dwindled down my supply of alloys.
Blocker cleared.
Brienne and Stellar Nation is in a commercial pact with the archives. We got dividends from the Delta Corsairs, a little bit of minerals and food and energy credits.
منكدير سابليسور.
Citadel Research renewed their pledge of loyalty for 1,600 or 16,000 alloys. The Archives renewed theirs for 31,000. Sovereignty of Tuxcali is in a commercial pact with the Sovereign Jazajan Assembly. Brienne and Stellar Nation renewed theirs for 8,000 food and 18,000 alloys. And the peace treaty should expire shortly.
Our pioneers have made planetfall.
Yeah, they were just booted out of my territory over here. That science ship that I kept forcing to decloak. So if I look at the Glossworhenians, yes, our peace treaty has expired, so war can resume at some point. And considering that this war preparations is still listed, more than likely they are going to attempt a war shortly. Star Realm of Shar has built a gateway. Rishethian State closed their borders to us. Too little, too deep. The latest prospecting efforts on St. Casper were inconclusive. Whatever minerals we could detect were buried too deep, in too small quantities, and through unstable ground. The projected cost of exploiting these veins would be higher than the profits. Despite this, our previous findings represent an enormous source of resources that should keep us busy for decades, if not centuries. So we have a 25% minerals from jobs on this planet, and to my additional mining districts from the first one and 8 from the second one. So overall I should have 10 extra mining districts. which is way more districts than this planet can support. 23, and the size is only 16. But that 25 benefit from minerals is going to make this want to be a mining world rather than one I transfer to an ecumenopolis. And I don't know why it says auto-designated. It should remain a mining world. Because it just got 1 population and got up to 5. That is why. It was a colony. So my energy credits are kind of dwindling a little bit. I'm going to start selling some food. I'll check that migration treaty when we get to July.
Blocker cleared.
There, I sold a handful of food for 30 apiece. At Norn League is in a migration treaty with the Gudgan Commonwealth. I have fired up capacity subsidies for now. That will drop my monthly unity to like 100 and something. But we need to take care of this deficit of energy credits. We're losing about 2,000 a month. And I'm still in the process
Construction complete.
of replacing most of my technicians with the Volbolin. Apparently I'd forgotten to queue up more hangars here. See, this is... yes, I was shifting this over to be an anchorage. I've neglected some of my starbase construction during the past few months. I'll check it again in October for all my starbases again and see if there are any others I missed. Yeah, now we're still losing 800 a month with the capacity subsidies going. That's mainly because we are so far over our naval capacity and starbase capacity. United Nations of Earth is in a migration treaty with the
Our
sovereignty of
pioneers
Tuskali.
have made planetfall.
So if we get into a war, a handful of casualties is going to restore our deficit for now. So we just made planetfall. It wasn't on Carecia. Faunus. Need to clear up some mining districts. This is primarily going to be a mining world. So we'll start with the dense jungle. That would take 6 months. It's going to take a year to colonize, so we can do another 6-month project. And get the other dense jungle that is blocking the mining districts. A war has broken out. The Meshbin Galactic Coalition declared war on the sovereign Jazajan Assembly. A rebel has popped up. They don't have much in the way of military, so they will probably not last long in this war. Yeah, if they end up meeting these fleets alone, it will end up crushing them. Well, those are the interstellar Pricarians. Oh, never mind. The Jazajan Assembly is already under a war with the interstellar Pricarians, so these rebels may do some serious damage. Yeah, the Jazajan Assembly is really being hit by the interstellar Pricarian coalition. So their fleets are almost non-existent at this point. And since they are a bulwark of the star realm of Shar, any losses they suffer hurts the star realm of Shar. In the process of modifying some species, I reworked the Simolans to basically get rid of adaptive and docile and replace that with robust, because that resources from jobs does affect specialist output. And since these guys are natural machinists, that would end up giving them 15% for alloys and consumer goods, and also make them very effective for refiners, getting 5% more for refining. And I also ended up creating a new species, the Canadolans. And basically they are to take over the culture worker jobs. So they have traditional as well as robust to give them an overall 15% unity increase. And I kept fertile as well. They were basically a retooling of this, getting rid of natural machinist for traditional. And I wanted to also give them docile, because I had to drop docile from the Simolans as well to reduce their empire size from pops, but the only way to come up with those 2 points would be to have given them repugnant, and that just does not fit in with the theme of a dog-based species. I would not find them repugnant for the most part. But I did that because on some of my research stations, I am running into housing issues. Yeah, if we look at Varba, I wanted to maximize the research output, and even with a luxury residence, they run into housing issues. Well, if I replace the culture worker jobs, these humans take up a single house, while slaves take up 3/4 of that. If I were to replace these humans with another slave species, and as a matter of fact, the reduction from being both communal and fertile would drop them down to a 0.6. So these 6 jobs would end up only being 3.6 housing, which right now I'm using up 3.7, and I'm at -1. I would be able to fill them without a lot of overused housing by swapping these out. And I'm being assaulted by a mosquito right now. It got under my glasses.
New species variant available.
So we finished modifying our old Simolan species to be the new one. So I should be able to get rid of the old one. Actually, before I delete this template, I do need to change population controls, just in case I had sold any of these, so that if I take over a world where they are, I don't have to worry about them breeding. And now we'll delete the template off of our list. Our Scalarium hypotheses and processors have expired.
منكدير سبلسور.
Not so sure I really need the hypotheses so much anymore, but I will keep doing them. That's going to be a lot of resources I need to give them. Hopefully dark matter is... Yeah, 1,000 dark matter is sufficient to get both of these for 30 years. Actually, we don't really need quite so much surplus with them, so let's drop that down a little bit.
منكدير سبلسور.
Our prospectorium techniques have expired with the United Miravandium Imperium. Now we do need that, and I will go ahead and give them 700. We renewed the deals with the Citadel Research Institute, and they agreed to the deal. Star Realm with Shar built another gateway. A new archaeological site has popped up in the Zanbor system, unless I have completely ignored it this entire time, but I got a new situation pop up and saw the debris belt. Our scans of the Zanbor system show that its asteroid belt is of an unusual variety. Instead of the standard mix of rocks, ice, and space rubble that usually make up such formations, it seems to be the remains of a number of large artificial habitats. These must have been destroyed with incredible violence sometime in the last few millennia. Untold secrets may be contained within the resulting debris field, but it's so extensive that charting it out could take quite some time. Yeah, now, seeing that this had rolls on it from quite a while ago, I think this is just one that I somehow overlooked. This is one that the previous empire was trying to excavate and never made past stage 1. So somehow I overlooked that I had an archaeological site untouched in my empire. Mira Prime has been converted to a continental world. No planetary features would make a great agriculture world, but a better ecumenopolis. Now this was one of the barren worlds that was converted over. Rattenbury. Got a couple more years before the other two are finally converted. As a matter of fact, if I go to my...
We have claimed a new world.
Terraforming, I've only got 7 worlds left to terraform, 2 of which should be barren worlds. This one will be done in a little over a year, and this one will be done in 2 months. We've established Carecia, so the first decision I would like to make here is to create this into a resort world. It will increase amenities on all of my other planets. Gives me quite a few building slots. When this is upgraded, it will have unlocked all the building. I do not have access to any of the districts. That's fine. Now, the resort world modifier is not a designation bonus. So the only thing that is improved by upgrading the Ascension tier of this is the housing the world provides. And of course, it reduces the empire size. But the benefits of bonuses to amenity, immigration pool, and habitability and the clerk jobs are unaffected by Ascension tier. But now that we have a resort world, the buildings that are available here, of course the Autocathon Monument, administrative offices, gene clinics, holotheaters, commercial zones, but we are not able to build any mineral producing or any production buildings whatsoever. We can put strongholds on here, and we can add more housing, which is what we generally need to do on these worlds. I can't even build a clone vat here. Yes, no clone vat is available. But I can go ahead and start with the Autocathon Monument. Actually, no, looking at the fact that I have no available amenities, I believe the holotheater should be the first choice. And we do need to move some population over here so that I can begin declining populations here as well. I know we have a spare Farine on Unity. Now Carecia has low stability. And Bid Taraka is another world I'm trying to remove the population from to turn into a thrall world. So we will move another population from there. Doesn't look like we have a surplus of things I can really move around other than Farine there. So let's go ahead and check another world. I have 2 post-Jaz Gavaz here. So we will resettle 1 from that world to Carecia. Stability is very low now because of the slaves' happiness. But this will change as their happiness. Actually, they have 100% happiness. I should have a lot higher overall stability here. It should update shortly.
Science Division reports success.
Yeah, it's already gone away. Stability has reshifted back to 70. The Great Human Empire, the one we are integrating, has just become a protectorate. We have shield harmonics. The basic mechanics of ship shields are complex, but they can be adjusted to be improved in a multitude of ways. Let's boost our energy weapon attack speed with flash coolant. Doctrine Fleet Liaisons. By maintaining a professional core of fleet liaisons, we can improve communication and the flow of orders throughout the chain of command. Let's go ahead and get the devolving beam. That will be the, I believe, the final Colossus weapon. It'll take about 3 years. So that is going to give us a little bit more influence per month while we are integrating the Great Human Empire. Interstellar Prokarian Coalition has begun constructing a sensor array.
Blocker cleared. Blocker cleared.
Plessis 3 has finished terraforming faster than initially estimated, which allows us to experiment. We can get the natural beauty or the engineered nature. We'll go with natural beauty and go ahead and send out another colony ship to, we've got a Citadel. I think we have an Osiris. Delphi sounds good. Sovereign Jazzajan Assembly completed a sentry array. The Triac Forerunners have declared war on the Sovereign Jazzajan Assembly. That is one of the fallen empires. There they are. Well, it's interesting that them declaring war on the Sovereign Jazzajan Assembly does not put them at war with the Star Realm of Shar. We got a bunch of energy credits from the Fortress Legionnaires, which is very useful since we're still suffering a deficit. Nova Antioch is now continental. Glagobder embraces cybernetics. Word is leaking out of significant changes taking place within the borders of the Great Human Empire. They are now neo-human superior. They have embraced cybernetics. We're going to be able to take over the empire in about 7.5 years. And we will put a stop to this nonsense of cybernetically enhancing humans. Hopefully they don't have too awfully many humans, but that does mean most of the species they have are going to get purged because they will all end up being cybernetic.
A new world has been secured for our colonists.
So we have founded Faunus. We still got a little bit more to get rid of that dense jungle, but of course the first building I want will be the clone vats. And we can go ahead and resettle a Farine here from Unity, just to have something to start declining in October. Oh, I do need to set the colony designation as a colony. The Glosterhenians have insulted us. Your pitiful nation is living on borrowed time. The Commonwealth of Man will fail. It is inevitable.
Field engineers have cleared a blocker.
That's kind of how I feel about their pitiful little empire. I found one human on one of my worlds that needed to be modified. It will be completed tomorrow.
New species variant available.
And I have a shortage of minerals right now, so I'm not able to do more archaeology projects. And also with the deficit of energy credits, I'm not able to do more masteries of nature, so I'm going back to building habitats because they only cost influence and alloys. Frenetic activity in the Thespia system betrays the construction of a Dyson sphere in the Tendrazun star conglomerate. Still in its early stages, the completed sphere will eventually blot out the light of Thespia, its radiance diverted to Tendrazun energy stores. Well, that was foolish of them. Well, no, none of those worlds were habitable. Or they might have become barren worlds. Right now, it looks like the Guardian Angels Act will be repealed. Adnoran League is in a migration treaty with the Adnoran Kingdom. We need to renew our agreement with the Curators. But with our current deficit of energy credits, I think we may let this go for this decade. It's only a 10% research speed. And right now we need the energy credits more, I believe. Logistics support service has been has been terminated. We do need that, so we will renew that. The Guardian Angel Act has been repealed. We gained a favor with the Praku Interstellar Nation for voting for their proposal. We are yours. Point us towards your enemy. Zarklin wills it. You know, since we are kind of low on energy credits, let's sell some of our relics to private collectors for the energy credits. Now that new Zarklin's Pilgrim fleet, we will have follow our existing one and merge with it. It'll take about a month for it to get over here. Now we are going to need to renew our contracts with our mercenaries, which is going to be a little unfortunate. We've got 13 days left with the Bastion Devils. We do not need to renew with the Manticore Stormlords just yet. We do have almost 10 years. Fortress Legionnaires. And the Kappa Privateers. That is 4 mercenary companies. With the exception of the Bastion Devils and the Kappa Privateers, we could wait 5 years for each of these others. Yeah, it's 12,000 to extend our contract. Oh boy, yeah, that is going to be a problem. And the other one we need to renew was the Bastion Devils. Kappa Privateers has over a year. But the Bastion Devils we need to renew now. And it will take all of our current energy credits. So we're going to have to sell some stuff. Now I would like also to help them manage things like a bigger fleet, but that also takes energy credits. However, we can share our technology with them to get some energy credits back. And also with the Kappa Privateers and the Fortress Legionnaires. So yeah, within the next 2 years we need to renew our contract with the Kappa Privateers, which is going to take 12,000 energy credits. We're still losing energy credits at a pretty drastic rate right now. So we are going to need to sell a few things just to get up to where we can last another year. Well, that got us up to where we can last another year, and hopefully by then we will be able to get some energy credits from some sources or increase our naval capacity so we're not bleeding off as much. But it has been another 5 years. So thank y'all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.